In the ever-evolving landscape of American politics, few figures have ignited as much passion, debate, and division as Donald J. Trump. From his unexpected rise in the business world to his presidency and beyond, Trump's journey has been nothing short of extraordinary. To his supporters, he embodies the role of a savior, someone who stands against the established norms, promising to restore greatness and address deep-seated issues. But to his detractors, he is a symbol of the very challenges facing democratic institutions and societal cohesion. Trump tapped into the frustrations and fears of many Americans who felt unheard and neglected by the traditional political establishment. His straightforward, no-nonsense rhetoric appealed to voters seeking authenticity and change. His background in business and media gave him a distinct advantage in shaping his public persona. He knew how to communicate effectively, using both traditional and social media to bypass conventional gatekeepers. Trump's rise culminated in a historic victory in the 2016 election, defying many expectations and reshaping the Republican Party. His presidency was characterized by significant policy shifts, controversial decisions, and a deepening of political polarization. Despite numerous challenges, including impeachment proceedings and a tumultuous global landscape, Trump maintained a loyal base of supporters who viewed his leadership as a necessary force for national rejuvenation. Even after leaving office, Trump's influence persists, as evidenced by his endorsements of candidates, continued engagement with his base, and the ongoing discussions about his potential future in politics. Understanding the trajectory of his political rise is crucial to comprehending the depth of his support and the perception of him as a savior-like figure. Donald J. Trump, a name synonymous with real estate mogul status, first entered the political arena as a perennial figure in American discourse. His transition from a business magnate to a reality TV star with The Apprentice paved the way for his unique approach to politics. Unconventional, direct, and often polarizing. In June 2015, Trump announced his candidacy for the United States presidency, leveraging his brand and media savvy to capture national attention. His campaign was marked by bold promises: building a wall along the southern border, renegotiating trade deals, and restoring American jobs. These promises resonated with a significant segment of the population feeling left behind by globalization and economic shifts. Trump tapped into the frustrations and fears of many Americans who felt unheard and neglected by the traditional political establishment. His straightforward, no-nonsense rhetoric appealed to voters seeking authenticity and change. The archetype of the savior figure is not new in the annals of political history. Throughout time, societies have looked to charismatic leaders during periods of crisis or significant change, often embodying the hopes and aspirations of their people. These leaders become symbols of resilience and renewal. Savior-like figures in politics often emerge during times of uncertainty or upheaval. They provide a narrative of salvation, offering clear solutions to complex problems. This portrayal simplifies the political landscape, presenting the leader as the singular agent capable of effecting desired change. These leaders typically possess certain characteristics: charisma, decisive action, and the ability to articulate a compelling vision for the future. Their rhetoric is often inclusive, creating a sense of collective identity among supporters while delineating clear boundaries against perceived threats or adversaries. Donald Trump, in the eyes of his supporters, fits this mold. He is seen not merely as a politician, but as a transformative figure whose actions are pivotal for the nation's salvation. This perception aligns with the historical pattern of electing leaders who are believed to possess an almost messianic capacity to steer the country through challenges. The allure of a savior figure lies in the promise of straightforward answers and decisive leadership. In a world characterized by complexity and rapid change, the idea of having a strong leader who can navigate through turmoil is incredibly appealing to many. However, this also carries risks. Elevating a leader to a savior status can lead to a lack of critical scrutiny and an over-reliance on one individual's vision and decisions, which can be problematic in a democratic framework that values checks and balances. The savior narrative surrounding Trump is a testament to the enduring power of this political archetype. It underscores the intricate interplay between leadership, public perception, and the socio-political climate that fosters such a belief. Understanding the role of savior-like figures is essential to grasping the full scope of Trump's influence and the sentiments of his supporters. To fully comprehend the perception of Donald Trump as a savior-like figure, it is essential to delineate the purpose and scope of this analysis. Our goal is to explore the multifaceted reasons behind his supporters' elevated view of him. Considering historical precedents, media dynamics, psychological factors, and cultural narratives, this analysis aims to unpack the complex layers that contribute to Trump's savior-like image. It's not merely about his policies or personality, but how various elements come together to create a powerful and enduring perception among a significant portion of the electorate. The scope of this analysis encompasses a broad range of factors. We will investigate the historical context of savior figures in politics, assess the influence of traditional and social media, delve into the psychological motivations of supporters, and examine the cultural and societal conditions that facilitate this perception. By adopting a comprehensive approach, this study seeks to provide a nuanced understanding of the dynamics at play. It will not only highlight why Trump is perceived in this way, but also what it signifies about contemporary American society and its political landscape. Understanding the scope of this analysis allows us to see beyond surface-level explanations. It reveals deeper societal needs and desires that a figure like Trump can tap into, whether it's a yearning for economic stability, national pride, or a sense of belonging and identity. This analysis will cover historical comparisons, media influence, psychological factors, cultural narratives, communication styles, supporters' perspectives, criticisms, comparative studies with global figures, and the implications for democracy. Each of these elements is integral to painting a complete picture of Trump's role as a savior-like figure among his supporters. As we embark on this journey, we invite you to consider the intricate web of influences that shape political perceptions and the profound impact they have on the nation's direction. Is Donald Trump a messianic leader destined to guide America, or is this perception a reflection of broader societal currents? The answers lie within the complexities we are about to uncover. To fully understand the perception of Donald Trump as a savior-like figure, it's essential to place him within a historical context of political leaders who have been elevated to similar statuses. Throughout history, during times of crisis or significant societal shifts, certain leaders have emerged as symbols of hope and renewal, often embodying the collective aspirations of their people. When we look back at leaders like Franklin D. Roosevelt, who led the United States through the Great Depression and World War II, or Winston Churchill, who became the face of British resilience during World War II, we see patterns of leadership that extend beyond policy. These leaders were seen as almost messianic figures, rallying their nations with a compelling vision and unwavering determination. Donald Trump's emergence as a political figure shares certain similarities with these historical saviors. His ability to connect with a specific demographic, articulate a clear and decisive vision, and present himself as the solution to national and global challenges echoes the traits of these iconic leaders. Savior-like leaders typically possess charisma, strong communication skills, and the capacity to inspire and mobilize their supporters. They often present themselves as outsiders or disruptors, challenging the status quo and offering a fresh perspective that resonates with those seeking change. Trump's rhetoric and approach share commonalities with historical savior figures. He positions himself as a fighter against corruption, a champion for the forgotten, and someone who can make America great again, a promise that taps into deep-seated desires for national rejuvenation. However, unlike some historical figures who emerged during clear crises, Trump's rise was amidst a period of relative stability but growing discontent. This nuance adds a layer of complexity to how he is perceived as a savior. The societal conditions that facilitate the rise of savior-like figures are multifaceted. Economic uncertainty, cultural and demographic shifts, and political disenchantment create fertile ground for leaders who promise definitive solutions and a return to perceived better times. In examining Trump's role through the lens of historical context, we can appreciate how certain conditions and leadership styles contribute to the elevation of a political figure to a savior-like status. This understanding not only contextualizes Trump's influence, but also highlights the enduring patterns of leadership that recur throughout history. As we continue our exploration, the next question arises: what distinguishes a savior-like perception in today's political climate, and how does it shape the relationship between leaders and their followers? When comparing Donald Trump to historical political leaders perceived as saviors, several parallels and distinctions emerge. This comparison helps to elucidate the unique aspects of Trump's leadership and the specific conditions that have fostered his savior-like image among supporters. One of the key similarities between Trump and figures like Franklin D. Roosevelt is their ability to communicate directly with the populace, often bypassing traditional media channels. FDR's fireside chats and Trump's use of social media platforms like Twitter both represent a shift in how leaders engage with the public, creating a more personal and immediate connection. Both leaders capitalized on the prevailing sentiments of their times. FDR emerged during the Great Depression and World War II, periods that demanded decisive leadership and hope. Similarly, Trump rose to prominence during a time of economic anxiety, cultural shifts, and political polarization. However, there are significant differences in their leadership styles and the nature of the challenges they faced. FDR's New Deal policies focused on economic recovery through government intervention, while Trump's approach emphasized deregulation, tax cuts, and a focus on business-friendly policies. Another distinction lies in the nature of their public personas. Roosevelt was seen as a reassuring figure, embodying stability and empathy. Trump's persona, on the other hand, is more combative and confrontational, appealing to a base that values strength and defiance against perceived adversaries. Roosevelt's image was crafted around his ability to inspire and comfort a nation in distress. Trump's image leverages a sense of rebellion and a promise to challenge the existing order, which resonates with those who feel disenfranchised by traditional politics. Additionally, the media landscapes during their respective rises were vastly different. The dominance of radio and print during FDR's era contrasts with the digital and social media-driven environment of Trump's time, which has amplified his direct communication and engagement with supporters. Despite these differences, the core principle remains consistent. Both leaders tapped into the collective consciousness of their time, embodying the aspirations and frustrations of their constituents. This alignment between leader and public sentiment is a hallmark of savior-like political figures. By juxtaposing Trump with historical savior figures, we gain a clearer understanding of the elements that contribute to such a perception. The ability to connect with the public, address pressing societal issues, and cultivate a compelling public persona are critical factors that define the savior-like image in politics. As we move forward, the next question arises. What distinguishes a savior-like perception in today's political climate, and how does it shape the relationship between leaders and their followers? Charismatic leadership plays a pivotal role in shaping public perception, especially in the context of political figures who are seen as saviors. Donald Trump's charisma, marked by his confident demeanor and assertive communication, has been instrumental in cultivating his image among supporters. Charismatic leaders have the ability to inspire and motivate people beyond rational arguments. They connect on an emotional level, creating a sense of trust and admiration. Trump's charisma lies in his straightforwardness, his willingness to speak his mind, and his ability to project strength and decisiveness. Trump's communication style is a blend of bold declarations, personal anecdotes, and direct engagement with his audience. This approach fosters a sense of intimacy and authenticity, making his supporters feel personally connected to him and his mission. Trump's charisma is unconventional compared to traditional political leaders. His rhetoric often eschews polished, scripted speeches in favor of spontaneous, candid remarks. This unpredictability can be both a strength and a challenge, but it undeniably contributes to his magnetic appeal. Key traits of charismatic leadership include confidence, emotional expressiveness, and the ability to articulate a compelling vision. Trump exhibits these traits through his confident stance, energetic delivery, and clear articulation of his goals. Whether it's economic prosperity, national security, or cultural preservation, charisma can create a powerful bond between a leader and their followers. In Trump's case, his charisma helps to establish a sense of hope and possibility, positioning him as the person who can navigate the country through perceived threats and challenges. Moreover, charismatic leaders often use symbolism and narrative to reinforce their image. Trump's frequent use of slogans like "Make America Great Again" and "Build the Wall" serve as rallying cries that encapsulate his vision and resonate deeply with his supporters. These symbols and narratives create a shared identity among supporters, fostering unity and collective purpose. Trump's charisma not only attracts followers, but also galvanizes them into active participants in his political agenda. With the foundations of historical context and charismatic leadership established, we now turn to the role of media in shaping Trump's savior image. How has the portrayal of Trump in traditional and social media contributed to the elevation of his status among supporters? The media landscape plays a crucial role in shaping public perception, and in the case of Donald Trump, it has been instrumental in crafting and maintaining his savior-like image. From mainstream news channels to the vast expanse of social media, Trump's relationship with the media is both complex and symbiotic. Trump has a unique approach to media engagement. He understands the power of both traditional media and digital platforms, using them to amplify his message and reach a wide audience. Traditional media has played a dual role in Trump's political rise. On one hand, coverage of his rallies, statements, and policies has provided him with a platform to disseminate his ideas. On the other hand, the often contentious nature of this coverage has fueled his image as a disruptor and outsider. Trump's relationship with the media is characterized by mutual dependency. He relies on media coverage to keep his agenda in the spotlight, while media outlets benefit from the high ratings and engagement that his presence generates. This dynamic has reinforced his prominence in the political arena. The interplay between traditional and social media in Trump's rise highlights the evolving nature of political communication. The ability to dominate both spheres has been key to establishing and maintaining his savior-like status among supporters. Media portrayal, both traditional and digital, has been a significant factor in shaping the perception of Donald Trump as a savior-like figure. By strategically leveraging these platforms, Trump has been able to amplify his message, engage directly with his base, and cultivate a powerful public persona that resonates deeply with his supporters.